If you're a family-driven bloke, disciplined, successful in your career, your business, but at home you're coasting, drifting, and failing to see the same level of growth in your personal life as you are your professional one, then make sure you watch this video until the end. Now, most blokes believe that they know what to do. If you relate, then you can talk about it, you can plan it, you can even start strong. But before long, you're back to your previous patterns of behavior that led to this drift in the first place. It's coasting in your health, coasting in your standards, coasting in your presence, coasting in your relationships, and you're now noticing the cost. No matter how much you want things to improve across your life, you just can't seem to remain consistent in any area other than your career or business. And even here, you know that you could perform better than you currently are. Now, it's not that you don't care, because you do. It's that you keep building your plan around the part of your life that's hurting you the most. You can call this the discomfort pillar. And because life doesn't care about your perfect plan, it breaks really fast, consistently, every week. Now, usually within days, then you slide back into the old pattern because it was never sustainable in the first place. Your plan was never going to work. In this video, I'm going to show you why that happens and the simple operating method, the strategy that stops it altogether. Why listen to me? I've been there. I've started as a flying instructor. Then I joined the Royal Marines. When I left, I lacked purpose. I confused my self-worth with job titles. I chased glamorous job titles across professional sport, working overseas, making good money. I achieved a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, worked with some incredible athletes, coaches, and built my career to become a performance director specialized in human performance and psychology, as well as communication and culture. And I still wasn't where my life mattered most. I missed a significant chunk of my eldest's first 2 years of his life. And it took that for me to rebuild my life around something real, not a CV or a resume, but something that really mattered. And now I've been teaching men how to do exactly that for 15 plus years. Welcome to episode 1 of 6. This mini-series is for high-achieving, family-driven blokes who want to stop fighting themselves every week. Now, if you've ever thought, I know what to do, I just can't keep it going, I just can't do it, then you're in the right place. You no doubt relate to this occurrence weekly. Now, I call this the pillar drift. Pillar drift is when your plan is reactive. You prioritize the pillar that's currently uncomfortable. Then everything else gets neglected. Life kicks in, you fall back into the behavior that feels familiar, comfortable. An example of this could be feeling the need to work on your health and body composition because you feel overweight, maybe tired, bloated, lacking confidence after your choices over the weekend. It could be wanting to work on your relationship following a conflict with your partner where divorce feels inevitable. Or maybe you feel the need to work on your temper and your presence with the kids, with your family, after recently losing your temper with them and recognizing that you've been absent and focused on the wrong things. Now, most men build a strategy around this discomfort pillar. They're always trying to solve the wrong problem. And the problem isn't the lack of effort, because you've consistently demonstrated that you can apply effort, particularly in work. The problem is that the lack of sustainable method across your 6 life pillars that's built to work concurrently. It's like trying to prevent a bucket from emptying by plugging the biggest hole, but disregarding the smaller holes that are letting water out like a slow puncture. Regardless of how successful your reactiveness might feel, the bucket still empties. Life still feels directionless, it feels difficult, it doesn't feel like you're living life on your terms. The instability and the inconsistency that comes is the boom and bust cycle. On, off, start, stop, start again next week mentality. You fail to fulfill the promises you make to yourself and you don't trust yourself anymore. You lose that self-trust. I've watched this happen with blokes who are brilliantly successful, men who understand business, men who can execute under pressure, men who deal with strategy on a daily basis, and yet they struggle to execute at life, particularly outside of work. Now, when it comes to the strategy or plan that you think you need to follow, the knowledge and experience that has drawn you to that conclusion is typically real, but it was collected in a different season of your life. Typically when you were younger, when you had more time, fewer responsibilities, maybe more margin for error, you could chase a plan hard for for a couple of weeks during this time. But now you're carrying a family, you're carrying the family's load, you're carrying stress, you're carrying travel responsibilities, exhaustion, decision fatigue. The same perfect plan doesn't survive that context. So you don't just lose habits, you lose belief in yourself, in your ability. You tell yourself, I'm just inconsistent. You manufacture a series of logical and rational sounding excuses to justify your failure. And these are things like saying, I'm too busy, or I don't have time, or that you feel guilty doing the thing when you should be at home helping the family, or I will start when things quieten down. But what's really happening is that your plan was never designed to be sustainable within your current life in the first place. So you choose the discomfort pillar as a priority. You neglect the other pillars because of your reactiveness. And then life happens, sleep, stress, family needs, work demands. Your body and emotions start reacting. Your plan becomes too hard to maintain too quickly. You revert to the old coping patterns because they were your short-term relief. They were the easy solution. And once you revert, you feel guilt, frustration, shame, and then you're reactive, so you try again next week with a fresh plan, same cycle, different week. And that's why you need to watch all 6 episodes of this mini-series. I'm not going to just tell you to try harder. I'm going to try and help you rebuild how you operate. So what do we do instead? Well, in Op Rebuild, we organize life into 6 pillars. Number 1, and these are in no particular order, health and performance. Number 2, work, business, career, personal development, relationships, finances, and the 6th one being fun, rest, and decompression. Most blokes treat life like it's just one problem, but in Op Rebuild, we treat life like it's a game of chess. Pillars are individual players on the board, if you like. More specifically, I teach a system that I liken to the interface of a dimmer switch or a series of dimmer switches. Instead of choosing one pillar to go full brightness and letting everything else go dark, you prioritize 1 or 2 pillars while dimming the others without turning them off. And we call that maintenance mode. And maintenance mode isn't doing nothing. Maintenance is the low-hanging fruit, the minimum viable actions that keep the pillar alive, that prevent regression. And when it comes to choosing your priority pillar, it isn't just whatever you feel like. We don't just choose it on a whim. Priority is what you push because you need to progress there. So here's the rule. 1 to 2 pillars, be that a day or across a week or a month. Priority is intentional progress, and all the remaining pillars are in maintenance mode or minimum effective dose. And this is what stops pillar drift. This is what stops the 7-day collapse. Now, as an example, let's say your discomfort pillar is health and performance. Low energy, poor sleep, feeling heavy. You pick your health as priority for the week or for a predetermined amount of time, but you still maintain relationships, ultimately a baseline of your presence and connection with those that matter most. Decompression, a healthy decompression routine so your evenings don't collapse into scrolling, food, alcohol, dopamine hits, and even work so you don't sabotage your schedule and then binge fail later. You're not ignoring the other pillars, and this is the point. You get absolutely clear on the necessary actions that don't take up much of your capacity, but as a minimum, help prevent regression in those areas. You're dimming them instead of switching them off. And I would argue that maintenance is probably more important than your priority plan. Now, if your plan is only designed for a perfect week, then it's not a plan. It's a fantasy, it's a dream, so we build around reality. The dimmer switch approach is how you stop treating discipline with spontaneity and start treating it like a system that you can actually rely on consistently. Now, in this first of 6 episodes, I want to give you your first 5 moves. These are the do-it-now steps that start replacing pillar drift immediately. Move 1, identify your discomfort pillar by name, give it a name: health, presence, decompression, money, stress, relationship tension. Use my 6 if you want. Move 2, set maintenance floors for the other 5 pillars. Define the minimum viable actions, low-hanging fruit only. Because if you don't define maintenance, life will ultimately define it for you. Move number 3, choose 1 to 2 pillars as a priority for the next 7 days at least. and you stop spreading your effort across 5 fires that you're trying to put out. Move 4, pre-commit to the maintenance moments, those non-negotiables. You can't rely on motivation, you pre-commit. When it's Tuesday night, chaos, what is your non-negotiable action in each maintenance pillar? Move 5, run a quick nightly identity check. Just ask one question. Did my behavior match the man I said I wanted to be inside of these 6 pillars? And this is an opportunity for you to learn from your day-to-day experiences whilst also preventing one bad day turning into a bad week, into a bad month, and so on. Now, for most blokes, they still fail even if they understand this concept of priority and maintenance. And this failure usually happens when life goes wrong unexpectedly. That could be a bad day at work, it could be a bad night's sleep, a family responsibility, a stressful conversation, a social event, a conflict, a confrontation, a sudden moment where you're needed elsewhere, getting stuck in traffic and being delayed, whatever it might be. So in episode 2, I'm going to show you your crisis contingency blueprint, which is a daily risk assessment and daily mental preparedness method, and you'll learn how to anticipate roadblocks before they happen, then choose the appropriate actions based on the identity you want to embody, even when your entire day derails, because that's just what happens. Before you move on to episode 2, I want to ask, which pillar have you been treating like a one-issue emergency, where you prioritize it and everything else goes dark, it just collapses? Comment below the video with one. Is it health and performance? Is it work, business, career? Is it personal development? Is it relationships? Is it finances? Or is it the 6th, fun, rest and decompression? And if you've done this before, comment with genuine truth. What happens after 3, 5, 7 days? What pattern does your life slip into? Now, click in the next video now, here, episode 2 of this mini-series, and I'll see you in that one, because that is going to add even more context to this one.